Okay, so we're going to look in this tutorial at the area, how you would calculate the area of a trapezium. Now remember, the main thing that's important about a trapezium, or the only property that a trapezium has, is that it has one pair of parallel sides. Your formula will be at the front of your paper, so use it, as will the diagram, so use it. Your A and B are always your parallel sides, and your H is the distance between the parallel sides. So if we look at question 1, the first thing I would do is label each part. So A for 4, B for 8, and H for your 2. Now that you've got it labelled, you can go and substitute it in to the formula. Now, be careful, that's a plus in there, and I've seen in the past people have changed that to a multiply by mistake. Don't do that. A half, your A value in this case is 4, your B value is 8, and your height is 2. So, remember BODMAS, so do your brackets first. 4 plus 8 gives you 12, times by 2 and times by a half. Now, you can type in 0.5 times 12 times 2, or if it's non-calculator, take a half of one of your values. So a half of 12 gives you 6. 6 times 2, your answer is going to be 12 centimetres squared. Okay, question 2 isn't set out in the way that you would like it to be set out. So the first thing that you should do is label your parallel sides. So A, B, and H. Okay, then write out your formula. Half of A plus B times H. Half of your A value is 7.1 plus 8.7 times by your 5.4. So once again, type in 0.5. Now, if you're going to do this all in the calculator, you need to open your brackets here. Do what's inside your brackets, then close again. But I would prefer if you actually worked out this value, so that the examiner can see exactly what you're doing. That gives you 15.8. Okay, when you multiply it all through, that gives you 42.66. So if I was going to round that to 42.7, I would write to 1 decimal place, so that the examiner knows what you've rounded it to. Again, question 3 is set out slightly differently, but you've got to locate your two parallel sides. 7.4 and 8.6 are parallel to one another, so that's going to be A, that's going to be B. It doesn't matter what way round your A and B are, as long as you locate the parallel sides. H is going to be your 6.1. So once again, using your formula, the most important thing is that you label it correctly. Half 7.4 plus your 8.6 multiplied by 6.1. Okay. When you do that, you type it all into your calculator, you get 48.8 centimetres squared. Remember, always look out for your unit. If the unit isn't given, even if you can't remember how to work that out, put the correct unit of measure in. Okay, question 4, more of a problem type question. Now, diagram shows the cross section of a wall of a cinema. It is to be painted. Work out the area that needs to be painted. Now, they've already started this question off for you. You've really got 3 parts. You've got part 1, part 2, and part 3. Okay, so if we deal with looking at part 1, first of all, that's my parallel sides, my A and my B. That would be my height. So if I go and use the formula, half A plus B multiplied by H. Half of 10 plus 12 times by 6. Remember, do your brackets first, so it's going to be a half of 22 times 6. Half of 22 is 11 times by 6. So the area for area 1 is 66 metres squared. Area 2 then, you've got just a plain simple rectangle. Length times breadth for the area of a rectangle. You've got 12 by 15, so multiply 12 by 15, which gets you 180 metres squared. Always remember unit. So that's part 2. And so this could well be a start question assessing your written communication. So make sure you set it out logically. Okay, part 3 then. Again, we've got a trapezium, and I would label A, B, and H. Now, this isn't labelled, but it's exactly the same length as the B over here, so that's going to be 12. So then, using the formula, half A plus B times by h. Your A value is 10, your B value is 12, but this time your height is 11. 10 add 12 gives you 22. Half times 22 times 11, so you're left with 11 times 11 to give you 121 metres squared. Now make sure then, to find the total area, you want to add 66 metres squared, 180 metres squared, and your 121 metres squared. When you do that, it gets you a total of 367 metres squared.